Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to discuss the example for limits. Kindly refers to the question. Evaluate, we have the limit when x approaching 1 for the function x to the power 4 minus 1 over x minus 1. If we substitute the situation, here we will obtain 0 over 0, where we have the situation indeterminate form. So the strategy would be multiply by the conjugate. Second one, factorize the situation. The third one would be long division. So for this kind of question, my suggestion would be factorize the situation. So limit when x approaching 1. So kindly refers to the situation we have x to the power 4 minus the 1. If we factorize, we will have x squared minus the 1. Multiply, we have x squared plus with the 1. Next, focus on this part. We still can factorize the situation. So we have x squared minus 1. Then we have x squared plus with the 1 over the x minus 1. Rewrite the situation. Limit when x approaching 1. X minus the 1, x plus with the 1, x squared plus with the 1 over, we have x minus 1. So notice that we have the common terms. So we can simplify. So limit when x approaching 1, we have the situation x plus 1 multiply with the x squared plus with the 1. So if we substitute the 1, and we will have 1 plus 1, which is equals to 2. And then multiply, we have the 1 plus 1, and again we have 2. So limit when x approaching 1 for the function x to the power 4 minus 1 over x minus 1, the value of y will be approaching 4. So kindly refers to B. Limit when x approaching 0 for the function we have the square root 4 minus x minus the 2 over the x. If we substitute the situation, so here we will have square root of 4 minus the 2, and here we will have 0 over the 0. Again, we will have the indeterminate form. So the strategy will be multiply by the conjugate, factorize the situation, and long division. So my suggestion would be multiply by the conjugate. So limit when x approaching 0, we have the square root of 4 minus x minus the 2 over the x. Multiply by the conjugate. So here we have the square root 4 minus x plus with the 2. Square root of 4 minus x plus with the 2. So do remember, only expand for one part. So for this question, my focus would be the numerator. Make use of the formula a squared minus the b squared. So for this case, a squared. So we will have limit when x approaching 0, we have 4 minus the x minus for the b squared. So here we will have the 4 over, we have the x multiply with square root of 4 minus x plus with the 2. So kindly simplify the situation. So limit when x approaching 0. So for this case, we have 4 minus the 4, 0, 1 x over the 1x. So we will have negative 1 over, we have the square root of 4 minus x plus with the 2. If we substitute the 0, and we will have negative 1 over square root of 4, we will have 2 plus with the 2, and we will have the value of y approaching negative 1 over 4. Continue, we have the C. So kindly focus on the situation. Notice that we have the square root of x squared. So the square root of the x squared, where we have the definition modulus of x. So we can define as positive x and negative x with the domain x greater or equals to 0, x less than 0. So by referring to the number line, we have the 0. Left hand side, we have negative x, and the right hand side, we have the positive x. So if we substitute the situation, and notice that we have the negative infinity over the positive infinity, where we have the IDF, indeterminate form. The suggested strategy would be dividing the numerator and also the denominator with the highest power of x. Focus on the denominator. We have the square root of x squared. So actually is equals to x. So kindly factor out the x. Limit when x approaching negative infinity. So we have the x bracket 2 minus 1 over x over, we have the square root of x squared 1 minus 9 over x squared. So notice that we have the modulus of x, or we can say the square root of x squared. And notice that we have x approaching negative infinity, so meaning that x less than 0 on the left hand side. So we will have limit when x approaching negative infinity, we have the x bracket 2 minus 1 over x over, we have the negative x multiplied with the square root 1 minus 9 over x squared. So kindly simplify. So limit when x approaching negative infinity. So we have 2 minus 1 over x over, we have the negative square root 1 minus 9 over x squared. So if we substitute the situation, infinity, so here we will have 0. So here we will have 0. So the value of y will be approaching negative 2. As x approaching negative infinity, for the function, we have 2x minus 1 over the square root of x squared minus the 9. And the value of y will be approaching negative 2. If you are new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel and share this video to your friend. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.